Christabel by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Let us read the poem Christabel, Part 1. 'Tis the middle of night by the castle clock, and the owls have awakened the crowing cock. To beat, to whoo, and hark again the crowing cock, and how drowsily it crew. Sir Llewellyn the Baron rich hath a toothless mastiff bitch. From her kennel beneath the rock she maketh answer to the clock. 4 for the quarters and 12 for the hour. Ever and I by shine and shower. 16 short howls not over loud. Some say she sees my lady's shroud. Is the night chilly and dark? The night is chilly but not dark. The thin grey cloud is spread on high, it covers but not hides the sky. The moon is behind and at the full, and yet she looks both small and dull. The night is chill, the cloud is grey. 'Tis a month before the month of May, and the spring comes slowly up this way. The lovely lady Christabel, whom her father loves so well, what makes her in the wood so late, a furlong from the castle gate? She had dreams all yesternight of her own betrothed knight, and she in the midnight wood will pray for the weal of a love that's far away. She stole along, she nothing spoke, the sighs she heaved were soft and low, and naught was green upon the oak but moss and rarest mistletoe. She kneels beneath the huge oak tree, and in silence prayeth she. The lady sprung up suddenly, the lovely lady Christabel. It moaned as near can be, but what is it she cannot tell. On the other side it seems to be of the huge broad-breasted old oak tree. The night is chill, the forest bare. Is it the wind that moaneth bleak? There is not wind enough in the air to move away the ringlet curl from the lovely lady's cheek. There is not wind enough to twirl the one red leaf, the last of its clan, that dances as often as dance it can, hanging so light and hanging so high on the topmost twig that looks up at the sky. Hush, beating heart of Christabel, Jesu Maria, shield her well. She folded her arms beneath her cloak and stole to the other side of the oak. What sees she there? There she sees a damsel bright, dressed in a silken robe of white, that shadowy in the moonlight shone the neck that made that white robe worn. Her stately neck and arms were bare, her blue veined feet unsandaled were, and wildly glittered here and there the gems entangled in her hair. I guess it was frightful there to see a lady so richly clad as she, beautiful exceedingly. Mary Mother, save me now, said Christabel, and who art thou? The lady's strange maid answer me, and her voice was faint and sweet. Have pity on my sore distress. I scarce can speak of weariness. Stretch forth thy hand and have no fear, said Christabel. How camest thou here? And the lady, whose voice was faint and sweet, did thus pursue her answer meet. My sire is of a noble line, and my name is Geraldine. 5 warriors seized me yestermorn, me, even me, a maid forlorn. They choked my cries with force and fright, and tied me on a palfrey wide. The palfrey was as fleet as wind, and they rode furiously behind. They spurred amain, the steeds were white. And once we crossed the shade of night, as sure as heaven shall rescue me, I have no thought what men they be, nor do I know how long it is, for I have lain entranced I wis, since one, the tallest of the 5, took me from the palfrey's back, a weary woman scarce alive. Some muttered words his comrade spoke. He placed me underneath this oak. He swore they would return with haste. Whither they went I cannot tell. I thought I heard, some minutes past, sounds as of a castle bell. Stretch forth thy hand, thus ended she. and help a wretched maid to flee. Then Christabel stretched forth her hand and comforted fair Geraldine. Oh well, bright dame, may you command the service of Sir Leoline, and gladly our stout chivalry will he send forth in friends withal to guide and guard you safe and free home to your noble father's hall. She rose, and forth with steps they passed that strove to be and were not fast. Her gracious stars the lady blessed, and thus spake on sweet Christabel. All our household are at rest, the hall as silent as the cell. Sir Leoline is weak in health, and may not well awakened be, but we will move as if in stealth, and I beseech your courtesy. They crossed the moat, and Christabel took the key that fitted well. A little door she opened straight, all in the middle of the gate that was ironed within and without, where an army in battle array had marched out. The ladies sank, belike through pain, and Christabel, with might and main, lifted her up a weary weight over the threshold of the gate. So free from danger, free from fear, they crossed the court, right glad they were. And Christabel devoutly cried to the lady by her side, Praise we the Virgin all divine, who hath rescued thee from thy distress. Alas, alas, said Geraldine, I cannot speak for weariness. So free from danger, free from fear, they crossed the court, right glad they were. Outside her kennel the mastiff old lay fast asleep in moonshine cold. The mastiff old did not awake, yet she an angry moan did make. And what can ail the mastiff bitch? Never till now she uttered yell beneath the eye of Christabel. Perhaps it is the owlet's screech. For what can ail the mastiff bitch? They pass the hall that echoes still. Pass as slightly as you will. The brands were flat, the brands were dying, amid their own white ashes lying. But when the lady passed, there came a tongue of light, a fit of flame, and Christabel saw the lady's eye, and nothing else saw she thereby, save the boss of the shield of Sir Leoline tall, which hung in a murky old niche in the wall. Oh, softly tread, said Christabel, my father seldom sleepeth well. Sweet Christabel her feet doth bear, and jealous of the listening air, they steal their way from stair to stair, now in glimmer and now in gloom, and now they pass the baron's room, as still as death with stifled breath, and now have reached her chamber door, and now doth Geraldine press down the rushes of the chamber floor. The moon shines dim in the open air, and not a moonbeam enters here, but they without its light can see the chamber carved so curiously, carved with figures strange and sweet, all made out of the carver's brain, for a lady's chamber meet. The lamp with twofold silver chain is fastened to an angel's feet. The silver lamp burns dead and dim, but Christabel the lamp will trim. She trimmed the lamp and made it bright, and left it swinging to and fro, while Geraldine in wretched plight sank down upon the floor below. O weary Lady Geraldine, I pray you drink this cordial wine. It is a wine of virtuous powers. My mother made it of wild flowers. And will your mother pity me, who am a maiden most forlorn? Christabel answered, Woe is me! She died the hour that I was born. I have heard the grey haired friar tell how on her deathbed she did say that she should hear the castle bell strike 12 upon my wedding day. O mother dear, that thou wert here, I would, said Geraldine, she were. But soon with altered voice said she, O wondering mother, peak and pine, I have power to bid thee flee. Alas, what ails poor Geraldine? Why stares she with unsettled eye? Can she the bodiless deaths espy? And why with the hollow voice cries she, Off, woman, off! This hour is mine, though thou her guardian spirit be. Off, woman, off! 'Tis given to me. Then Christabel knelt by the lady's side, and raised to heaven her eyes so blue. Alas, said she, this ghastly ride, dear lady, it hath wildered you. The lady wiped her moist cold brow, and faintly said, it is over now. Again the wildflower wine she drank, her fair large eyes gan glitter bright, and from the floor whereon she sang, the lofty lady stood upright. She was most beautiful to see, like a lady of a far country. And thus the lofty lady spake, all they who live in the upper sky do love you, holy Christabel, and you love them, and for the sake and for the good which me befell. Even I in my degree will try, fair maiden, to requite you well. But now unrobe yourself, for I must pray ere yet in bed I lie. Quoth Christabel, so let it be. And as the lady bade, did she. Her gentle limbs did she undress, and lay down in her loveliness. But through her brain of weal and woe, so many thoughts moved to and fro, that vain it were her lids to close. So halfway from the bed she rose, and on her elbow did recline, to look at the Lady Geraldine. Beneath the lamp the lady bowed, and slowly rolled her eyes around. Then drawing in a breath aloud, like one that shuddered, she unwound the cincture from beneath her breast, her silken robe and inner vest dropped to her feet and full in view. Behold, her bosom and half her side, a sight to dream of, not to tell. Oh, shield her, shield sweet Christabel. Yet Geraldine nor speaks nor stirs. Ah, what a stricken look was hers! Deep from within she seems halfway to lift some weight with sick essay, and eyes the maiden seeks delay. Then suddenly, as one defied, collects herself in scorn and pride, and lay down by the maiden's side, and in her arms the maid she took. Ah, well a day! And with low voice and doleful look, these words did say, in the touch of this bosom there worketh a spell, which is lord of thy utterance, Christabel. Thou knowest tonight, and wilt know tomorrow, this mark of my shame, this seal of my sorrow. But vainly thou warrest, for this is alone in thy power to declare, that in the dim forest thou heardest low moaning, and foundest a bright lady surpassingly fair, and didst bring her home with thee in love and in charity, to shield her and shelter her from the damp air. The conclusion to part 1. It was a lovely sight to see the Lady Christabel when she was praying at the old oak tree, amid the jagged shadows of mossy leafless boughs, kneeling in the moonlight to make her gentle vows, her slender palms together pressed, heaving sometimes on her breast, her face resigned to bliss or bale, her face, oh, call it fair, not pale, and both blue eyes more brightened than clear, each about to have a tear. With open eyes, ah, woe is me, asleep and dreaming fearfully, fearfully dreaming, yet I wis, dreaming that alone which is. O sorrow and shame, can this be she, the lady who knelt at the old oak tree? And lo, the worker of these harms, that holds the maiden in her arms, seems to slumber still and mild as a mother with her child. A star hath set, a star hath risen. O Geraldine, since arms of thine have been the lovely lady's prison. O Geraldine, 1 hour was thine, thou'st had thy will, by ta'en and rill. The night birds all that hour was still, but now they are jubilant anew. From cliff and tower, to woo, to woo, to woo, to woo, from wood and fell. And see, the Lady Christabel gathers herself from out her trance, her limbs relax, her countenance grows sad and soft, the smooth thin lids close over her eyes, and tears she sheds, large tears that leave the lashes bright, and oft the while she seems to smile, as infants at a sudden light. Yet, yeah, she doth smile, and she doth weep, like a youthful hermitess, beauteous in a wilderness, who, praying always, prays in sleep. And if she moves unquietly, perchance 'tis but the blood so free comes back and tingles in her feet. No doubt she had a vision sweet. What if her guardian spirit were there? What if she knew her mother near? But this she knew, but this she knows in joys and woes, that saints will aid if men will call, for the blue sky bends over all.